It's this area here. If it stays below freezing, the icing potential could be a bigger problem than we would like it to be. I know the big inflatable decorations, a lot of folks have them out. They could blow away. We're talking gusts today, 40, maybe more than 50 miles an hour in spots, especially toward the bay. And I want to show you what's going on. This is Route 234 approaching I-95. Heavy rain there, and on radar, we're tracking it north of Richmond. And one thing that's really neat, this is not restored. It is just cleaned and preserved as it was. So you can see all of the burn marks from re-entry on this really neat ship that did make the trip in about 6 days round trip from Earth to the moon and back. Let's talk about what we're looking here as we take a look at the weather headlines. Luray. Okay, I'm going this way.
He wants to know any chance that this storm, this system shifts toward Annapolis. Will they get any?
I'll take that one, Topper. The slim to none. I mean, this thing is pretty locked in at this point. The warm air coming off the bay, coming off the Atlantic, that east-northeasterly flow, you're going to stay, because the bay temperatures, I checked them earlier, they're like 44, 46. So Annapolis, well, you might get a little bit on the front end. It's a rain event for you, and it's just not on the cards for Annapolis. Hey, Top, I have a quick question for you. Have you ever seen a winter weather advisory and a flood watch at the same time? Here, you've been here longer than I. I'm going to defer to you on this one. Jupiter and Saturn, they're still doing their thing. They're getting a little farther apart now, with Saturn leading the way. Now, over the next couple of weeks, they're going to head to the lower right and be gone under the horizon there in a few weeks. But you'll still be able to see Saturn to the lower right of Jupiter. But there's another thing I like to look at, correlation coefficient. This actually does a really good job of seeing different types of precipitation. Where it's all red, it's the same type of precip. But when you get these yellows mixed in, that kind of chaotic looking color, that's the rain or the snow sleet line, I should say. This has sleet, some freezing rain in it, a real mess of precip. They're all different types. So we're seeing sleet. We've had some reports down toward White Plains and La Plata, some moderate sleet. We know that's coming up 95 there. South of Culpeper, we've got snow and sleet. Culpeper switched over down toward Lake Anna. I've had reports of freezing rain. So south of there, we're probably have some sleet and freezing rain, but the snow still north and west. And some of this snow, that probably mixes in with a little sleet, but still moderate to locally heavy snow in a few spots.
Well, Howard, you are a busy man today. A lot going on.
Yeah, this is a very dynamic system. It's bringing all sorts of rain, storms, some snow as well to our western areas. And we are going to see some snow showers tomorrow. Some of us may even pick up a little coating on Christmas Day. Right now, we've got some rain and 56 in town. Yeah, 56. We were in the low 40s this morning, but we've warmed significantly thanks to the winds going from the east-northeast now to the south. We were actually 59 last hour, but a south wind coming off the Potomac is slightly cool with those water temperatures in the low to mid 40s. And you notice off to the south and east, Waldorf 61. It doesn't feel like Christmas Eve, but it's only 43 in Middleburg. So the cool air still just hugging east of the Blue Ridge right now, but it's going to be scoured out over the next few hours. Even Centerville right now only at 46 degrees. So what are we looking at? Yeah, rain, more rain, and storms even potentially as we get into the evening hours in the first part of tonight. Low 60s this afternoon. Temperatures drop dramatically overnight. They'll be down in the 30s by probably 8, 9 o'clock in town and stay there all day. So this afternoon and tonight, what's the storm impacts? Flooding, I think there's a high risk of that, especially west of town where it looks like the heaviest rains will be. We have a flood watch up for most of us. Wind damage, that's moderate. Some areas with those gusts, 40, 45, 50 with soggy ground, we're going to lose a couple of trees, which may cause some power outages. Travel delays high, whether they be from wet roads or late tonight, maybe some icy roads. We're going to have some issues that we will be dealing with. You will need patience if you are traveling anytime today, tonight, or even tomorrow morning. Big storm going from the Gulf Coast all the way up into Canada. Mostly rain, but you'll notice in Kentucky we're changing over to snow as the cold air is coming in. That could cause a flash freeze on the roads late tonight west of I-81 in western Maryland and West Virginia where the roads are wet, and boom, cold air comes in, they get icy before the road crews can get out. Could be a very dangerous situation. For us, we've got all this rain. Most of it's been west of I-95. A little bit gets east, but as we zoom in on the radar, you'll see in D.C. we've had some light rain. That's moved up into Montgomery and Howard counties with the heavier stuff in upper Montgomery now. Those heavier showers from Leesburg. And look at that up to the north and the west. And let me just show you from Leesburg north up 15 through Luckett's, Tuscarora headed toward Urbana, coming out of Clarksburg and Damascus. Those showers are lifting off to the north-northeast, the heavier ones, that is. We also see around Hancock, coming out of Paw Paw there in Washington County, eastern Allegheny County, headed into Pennsylvania. Some of the heavier rains there that we've been tracking so far this morning into the noon hour. Hey, Newmarket, this is coming right toward Woodstock with some heavier downpours for you. And south of Sperryville, look at this heavier rain in Ruckersville down to Charlottesville, lifting north toward Culpeper. It'll head toward Fauquier County as well. And this stuff's going to go on for another 12 hours at least before, we start to get the cold air in and we start to push the heavy stuff away. So again, we're going to be in the low 60s with thunderstorms in spots, not just heavy rain. The winds, there's not much yet west of town, but we're gusting over 30 in Cambridge, over 30 in Delaware. We've had some gusts near 30 in town and up in Baltimore. And some of the modeling does bring these heavier gusts right up the bay to Annapolis, near 50 by 6:30, maybe into the mid to upper 40-mile-an-hour range in D.C. for the dinner hour, with still some 40-plus-mile-an-hour gusts potentially tonight until we push everything east. And yes, 60-plus-mile-an-hour gusts will be possible when you head over toward the coastal regions as this storm deepens. And this is a big storm. You can certainly see it here across the eastern U.S. This will come through. Behind the storm, well, we're going to get another inch or two of rain in spots. At times, waves of heavy rain and storms. Behind the storm, the cold air will start to move into western Maryland tonight. By 11:30, we're snowing in Garrett County. And look, 54 at 2:30. Temperature will drop to 39 by 6 a.m. We could see a few wet flakes early. And tomorrow, with enough instability, some of the models are trying to pinpoint maybe a little bit south of town, maybe even a coating of snow. Rain, storms locally heavy this afternoon, 50s and 60s. We've got the flood watch. We've got wind advisories toward the bay. Tonight, rain locally heavy. May end as a brief period of snow, especially north and west, 29 to 39. And tomorrow, temperatures settle in the 30s with wind chills in the teens and 20s with some snow showers. Much better Saturday and Sunday. Sunday looks fantastic comparatively at 45. This morning, there's the snow. It's in Indiana. It's in Ohio. It's in towards southwestern Virginia, but there's that range snow line already. And there's just too much warm air, snow lovers. This storm, if it were 50 or 60 miles south, would have been a lot better. It's the end of an era for baseball in Frederick, Maryland. After more than 30 years, the city's minor league team, the Frederick Keys, will no longer be affiliated with the Baltimore Orioles. Now, Matt Gregory joins us live from home. And Matt, I've been to Harry Grove Stadium. I've seen Keys game. What's next for Frederick without the affiliation? We're out here to see the command module for Apollo 11. And you get to be about 4 feet away from this awesome spaceship, which isn't much bigger than a minivan inside. This is Lisa Young. And Lisa, you have the job of being a conservator. You go in, you make this presentable, clean it up. What do you do exactly? So this year, many people made it a priority to get real Christmas trees. And this is the week that many will start disposing of those trees. But what if you could keep having a real tree without it going to the trash or the chipper after the holidays? CBS correspondent Ian Lee shows us a new option for families in England. Washington's at least one game ahead of every other team in the NFC East, right? With 2 games left to play. That means if they beat Coach Rivera's old team today, then they are in the playoffs.